The world of polar bear leather is a dark and hidden one, buried deep beneath the glitter of luxury markets where rich collectors chase rare products without ever wondering what price nature pays. In the Arctic, where the land is silent and the winds blow like ancient warnings, a secret trade operates far from the eyes of ordinary people. Here, every inch of white fur is treated like treasure, every skin turned into $1 million item. But behind this business lies a cruelty so cold that even the frozen earth seems warm in comparison. In the middle of this icy wilderness, metal doors open to reveal a factory humming with harsh machines. Workers move mechanically, not daring to look at the creatures brought inside. The polar bears, majestic rulers of the Arctic, are trapped, caged, and stripped of their dignity. Their thick white coats, built by nature to protect them from deadly cold, become mere material for someone's jacket, someone's handbag, someone's wallet. To the traders, the bears are not living beings. They are assets, inventory, luxury stock. Each piece of fur is logged, priced, and shipped to secret buyers who brag about owning something no one else has. But the story of polar bear leather does not end in darkness. It takes a turn the day Ayaan, a young wildlife photographer, accidentally steps into this dangerous world. His drone, lost in a sudden gust of Arctic wind, lands near the factory. Curious and slightly worried, he tracks the signal through snow-covered rocks until he finds a hidden side entrance. The moment he walks in, the truth hits him like a storm. Glass cases holding frozen skins. Conveyor belts dripping with melted ice and blood. Sedated bears lying helplessly as workers strip away their fur. A smell of chemicals and cold metal that would haunt him forever. Ayaan records everything, his hands shaking, his heart pounding. He keeps telling himself to stay calm, but when he sees a small cub struggling to move, its tiny body shivering violently, he cannot remain an observer. Something deep inside him breaks. He picks up the cub, holding it close, and decides he will not leave without saving at least one life. That choice turns him into a target. Guards shout. Alarms scream. He runs into the blizzard, snow crashing against his face. The cub whimpers softly, but holds onto him as if sensing trust. Hours pass. Ayaan's legs tremble, but he does not stop. At last he reaches a research station. Scientists rush forward, taking the cub to safety. Ayaan collapses, exhausted but determined. When he wakes, he uploads every image and every video he captured inside the factory. What follows shakes the world. Governments intervene. Environmental groups demand justice. Global outrage spreads like wildfire. And finally, the illegal empire behind polar bear leather collapses. Arrests follow. Investigations begin. The Arctic becomes a protected zone. Weeks later, Ayaan watches the rescued cub, now stronger, healthier, more confident, walk back toward the wild. She pauses, looks at him one last time, and disappears into the white horizon. In that moment, Ayaan learns something precious. One act of courage can shatter a mountain of cruelty. The world behind Arctic Factory is colder than the snow that surrounds it, colder than the winds that tear through the endless white plains, colder even than the hearts of those who built it. From the outside, the building looks silent, harmless, almost swallowed by the frozen landscape. Thick steel walls blend with ice, and smoke rises quietly from chimneys, disappearing into the gray Arctic sky. No signboard, no lights, no movement. To the world, it does not exist. But inside, a dark empire of illegal trade operates with ruthless precision. Workers arrive in black vans with windows covered. Their phones are taken the moment they step inside. Every corridor has cameras, every door requires a code, and every sound echoes in metallic emptiness. In this hidden Arctic factory, thousands of dollars flow every minute, all earned through cruelty disguised as craftsmanship. Massive machines whir in synchronized rhythm, slicing, freezing, processing. This place has no smell of life, only cold metal, chemicals, and the faint trace of fear that lingers in the air. The owners call it production, but what they really produce is misery. Polar bears, the majestic symbols of the Arctic, are dragged in cages across the factory floor. Their roars bounce off the steel walls, unheard by anyone who cares. Workers, silenced by threats and money, carry out their tasks mechanically. One group sedates the bears, another strips their fur, another packs the skins for shipping. Every part of this operation is timed, calculated, and hidden from the world. For every piece of fur, someone somewhere is ready to pay a fortune, never questioning the origin of their luxurious possession. Yet the Arctic factory is not invincible. Its downfall begins with a simple accident, a drone crash. Ayaan, a young wildlife photographer studying Arctic animals, loses his drone during a sudden gust of wind. The signal leads him close to the factory, and curiosity leads him inside. The moment he crosses the threshold, his heart freezes. Rows of frozen pelts, automated belts carrying lifeless bodies, bears chained with heavy iron locks. The sounds of machines overpowering the last breaths of the innocent. Ayaan feels horror rise in his chest. He raises his camera and begins filming. Every frame he captures becomes a weapon against the darkness. But then he sees something that breaks him completely, a tiny polar bear cub lying on the floor, barely breathing, separated from its mother who had just been dragged away. Its small eyes flicker weakly. Its body trembles. With each breath, it seems to beg for help. Ayaan can no longer be just a photographer. He becomes a rescuer. He scoops up the cub and runs toward the exit. Alarms explode. The factory comes alive with shouts and footsteps. Security guards chase him through the icy storm, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Snow slashes his face, but he does not stop. The cub clings to him, shivering, trusting him completely. With every step, Ayaan feels the weight of the truth he must reveal to the world. Finally, he reaches the research station. Scientists rush to help, wrapping the cub in blankets and warming its tiny body. Ayaan, exhausted and shaking, uploads his footage. The internet erupts. Governments demand action. Investigations unfold. Within days, the Arctic factory is raided, its owners arrested, its machines shut down forever. Weeks later, Ayaan returns to see the cub, now healthier, stronger, full of life. She walks toward the snowy horizon, free again. As he watches her fade into the vast white world, Ayaan realizes that sometimes one person, one moment, one brave decision is enough to destroy an empire built on cruelty. The story of wildlife rescue begins in a place where survival is a daily battle, not just for humans, but for the majestic creatures of the Arctic. In the endless white expanse, polar bears roam freely, their thick coats shimmering under the weak winter sun. But beneath this beauty lies a hidden threat, a network of illegal operations that view these magnificent animals not as living beings, but as commodities. Their lives are at stake every day, and only a few brave souls dare to intervene. Ayaan, a young wildlife photographer, had spent years capturing the beauty of the Arctic and its creatures. He had seen mother bears teaching their cubs to hunt, seals basking on ice floes, and the rare northern lights painting the sky in vibrant colors. Yet nothing prepared him for the discovery of the hidden factory where polar bear skins were turned into luxury goods worth millions. When his drone accidentally fell near the secret facility, he never imagined it would lead him into the heart of a nightmare, nor that he would become part of a wildlife rescue story that would change lives. Inside the factory, the air was metallic, harsh, and filled with the cries of animals. Massive machines lined the walls, and workers moved like shadows, desensitized to the suffering around them. Polar bears, once rulers of this frozen land, were sedated, chained, and stripped of their fur. Rows of frozen skins were packed and labeled for shipment to buyers who paid for exclusivity without knowing, or caring, about the lives destroyed to create it. Ayaan's camera shook in his hands as he documented every moment, knowing this evidence could save countless lives. But the moment that changed everything was the sight of a tiny cub, trembling and alone. Its mother had been taken moments before, and the cub's small whimpers echoed across the cold, sterile factory. The innocence in its eyes sparked something inside Ayaan, a determination that he could not ignore. With careful hands, he lifted the cub, wrapping it in his parka to shield it from the icy air, and made a run for freedom. Alarms blared behind him, and security guards shouted in pursuit, but Ayaan refused to let fear stop him. The cub, sensing his intent, clung to him with fragile trust. The journey to safety was brutal. Snow whipped against his face, ice cut into his gloves, and exhaustion threatened to overpower him. But every step brought him closer to his goal, a research station where the cub could be nurtured and protected. Hours later, he arrived, collapsing in relief as scientists immediately took over, warming the cub and providing it with the care it desperately needed. It was a small victory, but one that carried immense significance. Through this act, the cub had a chance at life, and the factory's horrors could no longer remain hidden. Once home, Ayaan shared his footage with global organizations. The evidence sparked outrage. Governments were pressured to act. Investigators raided the facility, leading to arrests and the end of the illegal operation. The cub, now named Noor, became a symbol of hope, resilience, and the importance of intervention. Her story spread across the world, inspiring countless others to speak up for the voiceless and join efforts in wildlife rescue initiatives everywhere. Months later, Ayaan returned to the snowy Arctic landscape, watching Noor take her first steps into freedom. She paused, looked back with eyes full of trust and gratitude, then disappeared into the vast white horizon. In that silent moment, he understood a profound truth. Rescuing even a single life can ripple through the world, challenging cruelty, inspiring courage, and preserving the fragile beauty of the natural world. The shadow of illegal trade stretches far beyond the Arctic, touching the worlds of luxury, commerce, and human greed. To most, it is invisible, a hidden stream of money flowing silently from secret factories to high-end boutiques across the globe. But its impact is devastating. In the frozen expanses where polar bears roam freely, this trade turns life into a commodity, stripping animals of their dignity and transforming majestic creatures into mere status symbols. Behind every million-dollar coat or handbag lies a story of cruelty, loss, and broken trust, a story that often goes untold. The Arctic, with its unending white landscapes and biting winds, is an unforgiving place. Yet it is here that illegal operations thrive, exploiting both nature and loopholes in enforcement. Massive steel factories rise like ghostly monuments among glaciers, their walls hiding horrors within. Workers are bound by fear and contracts, moving silently as machines hum relentlessly. Polar bears, creatures that have ruled these lands for centuries, are captured, sedated, and stripped of their thick white fur. Each skin is meticulously processed, treated, and packed, destined for wealthy buyers who pay millions without questioning the cost of their luxury. This is the harsh reality of illegal trade, a business built on secrecy, power, and exploitation. The story of intervention begins with a single person, Ayaan, a young wildlife photographer driven by curiosity and compassion. While documenting Arctic wildlife, his drone crashes near a restricted area. Following the signal, he discovers a hidden entrance to a massive factory. Inside, the scale of the operation hits him like a punch. Rows of frozen skins, conveyor belts moving lifeless bodies, and the mechanical efficiency of cruelty overwhelm his senses. He films everything, understanding that this evidence could expose the dark underworld of illegal trade to the world. Yet it is not just the mass production that shocks him, it is the innocence lost. A small polar bear cub lies alone, shivering, separated from its mother who was taken moments earlier. Its tiny eyes, full of fear and confusion, pierce through him. Ayaan knows he cannot walk away. He wraps the cub in his parka and begins a desperate escape through blinding snow and piercing winds. Alarms blare, and guards chase him, but he refuses to let fear dictate his actions. Each step is a battle, each breath a testament to courage. The cub's trust fuels him, reminding him that even in a world dominated by greed, compassion can triumph. Reaching a research station, Ayaan delivers the cub into the care of scientists who immediately attend to its needs. Its survival becomes a symbol, a tangible outcome in the fight against the horrors of illegal trade. But Ayaan's work does not end there. He uploads his footage online, sparking international outrage. Governments intervene, investigations unfold, and within weeks, the Arctic factory is shut down, its owners arrested. The illegal network that had profited from cruelty crumbles under the weight of exposure, showing that even the most secretive operations can be challenged. Months later, the cub, now named Noor, takes her first steps back into freedom. Ayaan watches from a distance, knowing that while one rescued life cannot undo all the harm caused by illegal trade, it represents hope, resilience, and the power of human action. The story becomes a lesson for the world. Greed may drive exploitation, but courage, compassion, and persistence can fight it. And in the frozen white expanse of the Arctic, Noor's survival stands as proof that even against immense darkness, life, and hope, can endure.